Okay then guys, welcome back to another video in the course. In this video, I want to break down facial beauty, which I know you guys really enjoy these videos. I think every guy in the world wants to look better and better every single day, right? So, all I've done, it's a short video, but it's going to be super effective for you guys. 3 things to focus on. I feel like when it comes to trying to look your best, trying to be an attractive guy, I feel like it becomes confusing. And, you know, I do like 20, 30, 40 things per week that try and boost, you know, my looks, try and boost what I do in the gym, etc. And it gets confusing. It's hard to stay on top of, especially when you're traveling, you're doing multiple things. But with that being said, there are 3 main components, right? 2 you're very, very aware of. 1 you're aware of, but you don't know how important it is. And I'll break this down for you. So, number 1, and it's super obvious, is lower your body fat. I mean, people forget this about Chris Pratt. People forget how fat he actually was. Like, he's a genuine fat guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely chubby. Like, rounded, chubby guy. Not just, oh, he's, you know, a little bit out of shape dad bod. Like, this is legitimate. Like, there's pictures of him bigger than this as well. Like, his face was like that. Like, he was in comedies and he had a really fat face. I don't think people remember that. I think that's faded from memory. And you see here, obviously, you know, he's not done much else than just get down to a low percentage body fat. And in the meantime, muscle has been built. But, you know, he's down to a low percentage body fat and it's just made him look 10 times better. Like, he's gone from average fat guy on the street to Hollywood A-lister. Like, it's so simple, guys. Just get your body fat down as low as possible. I know sometimes you're sat there at night watching TV and you're like, oh, I'd love a cookie. I'd love to... Just, number 1, don't buy it. If you live at home with parents, tell them not to buy it. But number 1, if you live on your own, whatnot, don't buy it. It's very simple. Just don't buy this shit for yourself. Number 2, just have some fucking discipline. Like, seriously, guys, is it really that hard? Like, you want a better life. You want things to be amazing. You can look like that compared to that. Just sit there at night and be like, right, I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm just not going to eat now. I'm just going to go to bed. Like, just get in that habit of just going, this is what I do. This is very normal. I want a better life. This is what I'm going to have to do because... You'll get to an age, I remember saying this to my friend, right? We were in Toronto, we were 23 years old. And it was the first, was it the first or so? Yeah, the first time we came back, like flew home. And then we went back a couple months later. And I said to him, I was like, look, when we come back here, we need to be shredded. I was like, we need to be jacked and shredded. I was like, that needs to be the plan. I was like, Instagram was at its peak at the time. Everyone was posting pictures and whatnot. And we were just like... It can change our life just being in shape. And I said to him, I was like, we're not going to get any better chance in our life than now. We're 23 years old going on 24. I was like, we'll be 24 by the time we go back. We need to be in shape now. I was like, otherwise you get into your 30s, mid-30s, it becomes harder to do. You need to start taking shit. And I was like, I don't want to be doing that. I want to have that base already built. I did it. I just started training like a madman non-stop and started being really disciplined on my diet, and I built up a ton of muscle and got lean and really changed my life. And me and him speak to this day, and he's like, fair play, you said what you were going to do. Like, you said it, you went and did it, and you've put like 6-7 years into that body. He was like, I just didn't really do it. He was like, I'm going to start the gym soon. Like 7 years later, do you know what I mean? It's a lot of lost time, and it's a massive difference maker, so just get lean. Number 2, guys... Just build some muscle. Because he's already lean, right? This is the thing, like, he's already lean, he's got that teenage body and whatnot, but just add some muscle. It just changes your entire face, it changes your entire body, like, just makes you look significantly better. I mean, you guys know I've done the video on Michael B. Jordan before and done the analysis, but, you know, I look at old pictures of myself and just having more muscle on your frame, you just feel like a man. You just feel more masculine, like, even you could be an ugly guy, but you're jacked. And when you walk into places, when you know, you put on a tight t-shirt and you just stroll around, you have a little bit more about you, have a little bit more swag. You fill out your clothes, people treat you with a little bit more respect, your face fills out. Your face gets more solid. I don't know why. I can't explain it. There's a few theories on it, but I don't think they're correct. They don't really check out for me logically, but you look at the difference left and right. All he's done is add some muscle. Anthony Joshua did the same thing. Just changes you significantly. Now, these are obvious, right? Build some muscle. Get low body fat. Like, I think every guy knows that, right? That gives you your base, okay? Now, I think people overcomplicate facial beauty because once you've got that base, once you've got that big body, that big frame, and you're lean and whatnot, and it leans out your face, you're going to look like I think the ugliest guy on the planet can still be a 7 under those circumstances. I think unless you've got something terrible going on, you're probably still a 7. Now, here's Jeremy Meeks. You know, he was talked about as being one of the most handsome guys on the planet, made girls go crazy. Why is he so handsome? Look at it. I feel like I talk about Meeks more on... it should be called Meeks. 1M Meeks. Talk about him more than, you know, you see him more than you see me. Look at this. It's not great, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, they say facial beauty comes from, like, if you can have a straight line from your nose down to your chin. So, ideally, you want your nose to be tilted like that. Like, the best looking people is like a thin, tilted nose pointing downwards, meets the chin. Meeks doesn't really have that. Doesn't really have that going on. You know, his cheekbones that high? Not really. Yeah, we can actually see it in this picture here. His cheekbones aren't that high. They're like, you know, model cheekbones are like up here. They're ridiculous. I'll show you in a second on this guy. Actually, let's do it now. This is model cheekbones, right? That's like the highest level. Like, you can see they're like boulders up here. Like, they're big rounded boulders. Meeks doesn't have that. So why is he considered so handsome? It's the hollow cheeks. Like, and this is what guys don't realize. His hollow cheeks is pretty much... Like, I know Mike Muse says that maxillabone is the key to facial beauty. It's like the seat of facial beauty, and he's right, because obviously it drives everything upwards. It creates that. But as long as you've got hollow cheeks, as we see here with Meeks, like, that isn't an unbelievable face. Like, the jawline is not great. He's not exactly, you know, cheekbones are there, but it's not great. Let's be honest. Like, it's not the super attractive guy like we've seen up there. But why he's so handsome and why his cheekbones look so high is because of these hollow cheeks. And just having this gap here protrudes this, makes all of this look better. Like I said, oh, sorry, wrong one. This jawline isn't great, but because of the hollow cheeks, it looks fantastic. And I remember when it first happened, I remember a girl said, oh, it's his jawline. That's why he's so handsome. And we were like, his jawline's kind of sucks. There was like a few of us sat there and we were like, look, and she was like, oh, wow. Like, I thought it was solid. And just having this gap, you know, these hollow cheeks here just changes the game. That's why low body fat's important. But I think, I think you should give so much attention every single day to shrinking these. I think every time you're eating a meal and you're starving hungry and you're just shoving it in your mouth, you're ruining your face. You know, it's hard to keep thinking about and staying on top of. But every time you hollow out these, every time you keep on top of your diet, every time you keep your salt low and stuff like that, and these hollow out, you will get far more attention. I've noticed in my own life when I get really just busy and distracted, and I'm just like, I've got to eat that quick. I don't care. Like, I look significantly worse. But when I'm like really on it, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose the tension here. I'm just gonna let these hollow out. I'm gonna consciously think about it all day long. Not all day long, but you get what I mean. And swallow correctly, and these hollow out, I'm like, oh wow, like my cheekbones just immediately, within like a week, I can see like a shadow here, a shadow coming down here. It happens so quickly, guys, and I think if you can do it long enough and you can get into a certain routine and you can get down to this level, it'll bring it all together, and I'll show you why. Here's this guy that we just saw. All right, super handsome guy, and this is a little bit of low-level editing that I've just done. Let's try and make these even so it's very, very fair. Let's get them as close as possible. Right? Look at this, guys. Supermodel. Without a shadow of a doubt, this guy is one of the most attractive guys alive, right? It'd have to be supermodel. It'd have to be a super handsome. Like, it just is high level, right? You look at it, you're just like, he has to be a model. He has to do something. There's just no way. The guy on the left, just because I've blocked these hollow cheeks, kind of looks fat. His face kind of looks puffy. Now, is he a handsome guy? Yeah, great hairline, solid brows, solid nose bone, you know, big lips, solid chin. Like, you can see, great eyes, like, handsome guy, right? Really handsome guy. But without the hollow cheeks, it's not that level. You know, and what the hollow cheeks do is they just give you that lean appearance. They exaggerate the cheekbones. Because here, like, you can see he's got high cheekbones, but they don't look that great. Like, if they were, imagine this was a bit of fat just molded in here, it wouldn't look fantastic, would they? Do you know what I mean? If you blocked all that out, and which is what we've done here. it kind of like cancels out the cheekbones because you can't see that line. It's that indent there. It makes it look wider than what it is. They're just as wide there, but because the fat follows it round, it just looks like a round moon face. Like, handsome guy, yeah, but here on the left, probably like a 7. On the right, a 10. And that's such an effective strategy, just having those hollow cheeks. Now, I think hollow cheeks has the power to bump a man up by 3. I think if you do this, you gain some muscle. I think any guy can be like a 6. I think you get your body fat down. Well, I think if you gain muscle, I think any guy's a 5 or above, right? Because some guys just don't look that great. They just, they're just balls of muscle. I think if you get your body fat down to 10%, you're a guaranteed 7. Like, worst case scenario, 7. I genuinely believe that. And then I think if you are able to hollow out your cheeks, even like an extra few millimeters or whatever, I think every millimeter just makes you more attractive. And I think this is the key, getting this kind of like strong bone structure. I think that's the key to getting up to like an 8, 9 or a 10. But I think if you've got all 3, it's pretty easy. Do you know what I mean? And the hollow cheeks thing is hard because it's consistent. It's a muscle. Use it, lose it, use it more. You're going to keep it. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard because you can get hollow cheeks, but if you regress and go back to old habits, they're just going to come back. And you actually see it with Jeremy Meeks. In his early life, he had, quite a round, bulbous face. When he spent a lot of time in prison, they hollowed out. When he came out of prison, first of all, I imagine he was going to every party, drinking, talking a lot, interviews, whatever. They got big again. I think he was just stuffing his face. He didn't really care. And then the model management team, I think, got on top of it. And now his cheeks are more hollow than ever. Because there's a set system. Do you know what I mean? There's set things that you can do to make yourself look better. And for me, I think this is the exact system. I think hollow cheeks, gaining muscle, low body fat. I think if any guy does that, like imagine Chris Pratt now with those cheeks. Okay, if they were cut in, he'd, pretty much be a 10. Same with Michael B. Jordan. Imagine if you put those cheekbones and those cheeks on him now. Like with that frame and whatever, he'd be a 10 also. But, like I said, with Jeremy Meeks here, it's the same picture as this one. So we know his jawline's not great. We know everything's not fantastic. His maxilla isn't that upwards and forwards. Pretty average from the profile. Here, one of the most handsome guys alive. And it purely does come down to this groove here in these cheekbones. It just adds so much to his face. Like if you took that away and that was just rounded from there to there and there to there, be a pretty normal guy, never would have gone viral. So you need to be consciously thinking about hollowing these out all the time, like constantly, every meal, every swallow, just until it becomes a real big routine. And I myself, I go in and out of this, but compared to how my face used to look, it was like this. Like my cheeks were rounded, and you can't really see with this lighting on this camera and whatnot. It doesn't really do it justice. When I see people in real life, they're like, oh shit, I see what you're talking about. And I've got 3 images actually on here with good downlight that you guys can see. You can see the difference. But it's absolutely changed my life. But I could hollow them out even more. Way more. I'm just like, I'm doing enough. I'm in a routine. But sometimes when I'm rushing around, I'm putting too much food in my mouth and I'm not consciously thinking of it. Right now, I'm consciously thinking of it, like this last week or so. And again, it starts to do that again. It starts to hollow out. It starts to groove. And like I said, if you can stay on top of it, because what it is, it's a sign that everything's working correctly. It's a sign that you're swallowing like an adult, not like a baby. And it just comes across as attractive. It comes across as masculine. And, you look at every celebrity in the world, they're all getting buccinators removed here. They're getting these pads removed, which I don't recommend. I think it's a bad idea. I think you can just hollow them out from good practices, but they're all getting them removed because they know that's the key to getting to that supermodel level. Like every single one of them, like Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, Kylie Jenner, the Kardashians, like they all have done it because the surgeon, the doctor, whatever has gone, oh, this is the key. You take them out and, as a woman, you're going to look great. Like you got hips, arse, boobs, whatever, great. Now we'll give you some big lips and we'll hollow your cheeks out. Like, it's quite literally the system for women. And for men, it's build muscle, get your body fat down to a sub 12%, hollow your cheeks out. Honestly, guys, it doesn't really go much further than that. Like you can do extra things to give yourself a pop. You can be healthy, eat clean, skincare, whatnot. But that is pretty much the system. That will absolutely change the game for you, and it will put you in the top 1% of attractive men. So I hope this video has helped, guys. I'll speak to you all soon.